Hello, this is documentation of what happened tonight. I went outside and I happened to see this orb way out into space. It was way above the atmosphere. It was way out into the atmosphere. I mean, way out of the atmosphere. It was as small as the stars, the smallest stars. And I saw it. And I said, I was seeing what it would do. And I said, I'm here. I just said, I'm right here. And I was stating to whatever what I saw, which I've seen these before way out in the sky. And I said that in the name of the Lord, I'm ready anytime to fulfill my divine purpose of the Lord. And just wanted to get that information out there. And it stopped and reversed and came back over me, like way out there in the sky. I mean, to the area the stars are. But it was aware of me. And it stopped overhead because it was disappearing and just fading, and then it would reappear. Well, then, out of nowhere, I get this ringing in my right ear, a really loud ringing. And then I start feeling kind of woozy, dizzy. My legs feel kind of weak, and I felt kind of in a daze. And right then, this loud craft, those objects on Cowboys and Aliens, that movie, those crafts, that's what it was like. But it had mostly red lights. It was in a triangular shape, but it had like a stinger in the front, and it was kind of and then it was that's what it was doing, just really loud like that. I mean, it was so loud that it was just roaring loud after I heard the ring in my ear, and the small dot in the sky disappeared. But above me, above the pine trees, was that object, and it was coming for me. Like and I didn't turn around though. Something said, "Don't turn around." So I sat still, and I was in a daze, and kind of, my legs were weak, and I was in a daze. And so I sat there. All the cats were like, oddly enough, the cats were back at the house. They usually follow me everywhere, but they didn't this time. And I was like, I had just stated I was ready to fulfill my divine purpose, and in the name of the Lord, for the Lord. And I mean, that's what happened. That's what I told because I felt it was like something connected to the angelic realm. Like, that's what I felt like. And yes, I'm a believer in the Lord, without a doubt. And I've had too many people come to me, and they told me that I was supposed to be used for something important, and too many people had just said, that I was supposed to be. They just came out of nowhere. These people would just tell me, I was chosen out of nowhere, and I felt it since I was little, and I felt that I was supposed to be used for a divine purpose since I was little, and I want to fulfill that divine purpose for the Lord. I mean, I want to fulfill the betterment, for the good, and for balance, healing, restoration. But that craft, I think that the small dot was good, and that other craft, I don't know. That other thing felt sinister, sort of. Maybe it wasn't, but I didn't feel negativity, really dark. I just heard it. I saw it going right over me, and it was so large. It was probably like the size of our house. That literally. I mean, it was very large. Probably it was about 3/4 of the size. Like, it was, I'd say about 25% less than the size of our house. Well, it was flying over, making a lot of racket, trying to get lower and lower, and I stayed under the pine trees, and I finally turned my head when it got behind me. Oh, there was a large, just a quick flash of light in the sky. But earlier, after that craft was looking for me, it seemed like I don't know if it was looking for me or if it was coming toward me or what, but it would go like just making a loud racket and making a ringing in my ear. I felt the ringing in my ear before it got there, and then it was circling overhead over me, right over me, and then finally it went that way where I'm pointing and went lower and lower down and landed somewhere in the woods. It just kind of went downward into the woods. And that's a plane right there. That's a plane. That is a plane. But what I heard earlier was right over me. It was just about to just. I mean, it had red, dark. It had red lights on the front, and just so loud. It was just so loud, and it was after me specifically. Yeah, that's a plane right there. But this was loud, and it was right over me. It was after me specifically. Then I finally came out of that daze and started walking back toward the house whenever I saw it go down into the woods, go down into the hills and land. And it went toward that facility area and just went down. And after that, I came back out to look. And it was like when I told it that I was saying that I'm ready to find, I'm here, ready to fulfill my divine purpose of the Lord. And that tiny little orb stopped. This is just my story, experience from tonight. And if I ever post this, I just want to share it. Just document it. And I saw that tiny orb. It was so far out that it was as small as the smallest dots in the sky, stars, but you can see it. And then it backed up, just started going back. And to be that far away but aware of you, it had to be something divine, something spiritual, I guess, or maybe something of a definite higher consciousness. And then it stopped. And after it stopped way over me, that's when that large craft just came toward me out of nowhere. And then when all that was over, this loud car took a turn all out of nowhere and went by me. And then the dogs had a monster fit because something was suddenly down there in our yard. It's like they left something down in our yard. So I went back out a few minutes later after I went in to tell Mama. I didn't have my phone at the time. And I went back in to tell Mama. And when that happened, I told her. She was just like, be careful. She just, doesn't want to see anything happen to me, obviously. But I don't know. I've always known that there was a connection that I had, and I'm supposed to fulfill something great. And so many have told me that the Holy Spirit was going to use me, the Lord's going to use me, and I hope I could be used for something great for the betterment. But I just witnessed that thing, and the other thing, and the other thing. And then when I went back out, moments later, there was another one directly where I looked up in the sky, way out there. So far out it could not have been anything we had, as far as I know. And it just moves consistently, and the tiny little orbs do. And they move consistently. And they're very, very far out there. Ow, my neck, sorry. A lot of achy pains. But anyway, yeah, that's what I witnessed. Documentation. Didn't mean to get the pain on video, but yeah, that's what happened. That is what happened. It was going way out there, and then the other thing came for me. So I don't know what it was going to do, but then I saw another tiny orb in the sky, way out in the sky, and saw some flashes of light, and something came out of that other orb, and like a beam, and then I saw flashes of light. I saw a dark triangular shaped object, and it would flash and disappear, just flash, disappear, and all kinds of things right after that happened. But then after I saw that last sky orb just flying on through space, I saw nothing else. And I'm heading on back to the house right now. This is documentation.